Yeah.
All right, another week, and we are back again. It is the Best of Both Worlds of Wrestling podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Khalil. We are chock full of content today.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if you. Well, we'll get into it, but there's been the news. The dirt sheets have been on fire the last week.
Yeah. The dirt has been dirting.
Yeah. Hmm.
Before we get into the oomph of all of that, we got another rest in peace that we got to shell out in the wrestling world. Uh, they're all dropping, but in a way, some of these folks have really been around a long time. So,
Hmm.
if you're a millennial like us, or you're in any generation prior to us, you may know this dude that played General Adnan in the WWE during the Sergeant Slaughter Iraqi sympathizer gimmick run.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Let me just make sure I want to get his name correct. This man's name was Adnan Al Kasi or Kaisi. He was born in Iraq, and I actually didn't know Saddam Hussein at one point. Came to the United States, believe played football, and then wrestled for a university, and spent his time between. He had a WWE run where he played a Native American character in the 70s. And then he went to the AWA, had a couple feuds. He came back to WWE for that run with Sergeant Slaughter, early 90s. Um, but this dude was born in 1939. He passed at 84 years old. During the pandemic, I had wanted to revisit some of those old storylines and like because it was going on when I was younger, but I didn't catch every episode to really get the oomph. So I wanted to know where it all
Yeah.
started. And I watched him, and I watched the whole thing play out. And I was like, I used to just Google people, see if they still alive, and I'm like, damn, this dude's still kicking.
Hmm.
So shout out to General Adnan, and uh, a life well lived, man.
Yeah.
It's a part of the
Definitely.
game, you
I
know.
think I've used his. I think in one of the 2K games, they had his mannerisms and like the list of taunts and entrances and stuff. I'm pretty sure I use it for one of my created wrestlers.
I used to really try to. I haven't created wrestling in so long. That was one of my great joys, like when I was at high school, like SmackDown versus Raw. I would make
Oh yeah.
wrestlers. I have a memory card here with still some of the ones I made. I would still play with them to this day. They got some fly moves, great personalities.
Listen, hours wasted. Just I would build whole rosters.
Yeah,
Like
I had I
I'll be
had
bugging.
had women. I had
Hmm.
heavyweights, super heavyweights. I had cruiserweights. You
Yep.
know, I had them. I had them all, man. And at one point, when I played the game enough, they would just fight each other, man. And that was, the rivalries off of that. But
Yeah, do a battle royal with all created wrestlers and just let them see who's the best.
straight
Oh,
up,
it'll always
man,
be my player, of course, the one modeled after me personally. But
that's the goal. That's
yeah,
the
that's
goal.
in the side. Rest in peace, General Adnan.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, man. They say death
So
comes in threes.
catch us up, man. A lot happened since the last time we were recording.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if y'all heard, but they fired your boy Phil.
BD, BD.
CM Punk is no longer a part of All Elite Wrestling, and it had to be well, according to Tony Khan, it's not something he wanted to do as much as it was something that he had to do. And he said he, for the first time in the wrestling business, he feared for his safety and his life.
Bruh,
So one can
that,
only surmise
bruh.
it was some kind of issue where Punk lunged at him or something during a meeting in private. But yeah,
Hey,
yeah, it
man,
wasn't,
that
and
got to
it
be
wasn't
like
a
he was fired. We should make a clarification. Apparently, there's very specific language to his dismissal. They said he was fired with cause. So I think
yes.
that is why he had to throw in I feared for my life. Because I'm like, bro, if CM Punk lunge at me, I'm not fearing for my life. I'm like,
Yeah.
if nobody pulled a gun out backstage, no one should
Yeah.
fear for their life. So anything short of that, miss me. But the validity of being fired with cause in this case is
Hmm.
they do not have to pay him out the rest of his contract
Yes.
if they use that
Yes.
language and they cite that. And
Yeah.
so maybe he violated something that was in their new agreement since he came
Hmm.
back or something like that, and it allowed them to say, "Yo, if someone feels threatened enough by you, we can fire you with cause, and you won't get paid whatever you're owed, so on and so forth."
Yeah.
And so, sorry to cut you, but because I just want to make sure people understand, like, because at first when I first read it, I was like, "My nigga, you cannot be fearing for your life." Back, there's no way. It's
Yeah.
okay. People get into
Yeah.
scuffles. Have you not seen a fight? Cut it out. But now I realize like they were just, I guess when you doing the legal thing, you building a case, you gotta
Hmm.
exacerbate everything. I make everything look bigger. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I kind of get it in that sense.
Yeah. So I want a couple of things to be clear that he didn't get fired for the altercation with Jack Perry. The punishment for that was a suspension. The firing had something to do with a meeting he had with Tony Khan.
Oh,
So yeah. So it was because the reason Tony had to use that specific language was because according to reports, there was a I think like Punk was really upset. I think he was threatening to quit, and I think he lunged at Tony during like I don't think he was gonna do anything, but like we're never gonna know the exact specifics of the
he
truth what
wanted to
happened.
intimidate him.
Yeah, but
Which do you really need
I,
to intimidate Tony Khan? Right?
yeah, Tony Khan is not a warrior, if you will. Like he is not a fighter. He is a I'm gonna let my security handle it. Someone call the police. Like let's be serious. But it is, and people are mad at Tony, and they're like, "Oh, the elite is behind it." Da da da. And I'm like, listen, if there is CM Punk is Tony's favorite wrestler, first of all, that needs to be known because when AEW first was being conceived and conceptualized, he tried to get CM Punk from then, but
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk just wasn't down. So and if we're being honest, the fact that CM Punk was still employed after everything that had not forget the brawl. The brawl is a separate issue. Just the scrum itself, the way he handled the scrum himself, the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he wasn't fired, he was brought back, and he got effect for argument's sake his own show, Collision. I don't think Tony would have fired him unless it was the absolute last thing he had to do. That man loves him some CM Punk. Like there was reports when CM Punk came back, Tony himself was in Gorilla chanting CM Punk at the top of his lungs as if he was in the crowd. So
That's
it's
so funny.
unfortunate. Yeah, it's like that's the kind of wrestling dork Tony Khan is. But it's unfortunate that things happen this way because like even before all this, um, when he initially came back, it was a shot in the arm for wrestling.
Oh yeah, please.
Like it was a shot in the arm for wrestling, and his absence will be missed, obviously, but I don't think I don't think it's doomsday for AEW.
Oh, they'll be
Like
all right. I
they'll
mean,
be
they
able,
were
yeah,
around
they'll
before
be,
him. They'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
They'll be fine.
but
I just think they get dealt a bad hand. We gotta be honest about this also. We gotta remember this company's like 3 years old or something like that, right? And
yeah, four.
so 4 years old. So like these are growing pains
Hmm.
and they're learning how to run a promotion successfully. They are the second biggest promotion in this country and have the backing to continue to be that. There's no competition below them. That's close, right? And so they're learning like what it like people that have any critiques of Vincent Mann, the businessman, uh they're learning what it takes to keep people in line, and sometimes it is
Yeah.
being as stringent as he has been in the past, being a bit of
Mhm.
an asshole, being even him just dedicating himself to his physique a certain way just to be a presence and to command and elicit a certain type of respect out of people. I mean, that's all
Yeah.
part of the package, man. It's not fear neither. It's really just a respect thing. And for him to still have any fingertips on this business for the last 50 years, that's what it takes, B. You can't have people coming up
Yeah.
in there thinking that they can just, bruh, if you're gonna step to if anybody gonna step to Vince McMahon, it's literally Bret Hart and Brock Lesnar throwing the belt at him. It's
Yeah.
like, that's it. And I
Yeah.
think Nails did something back in the day because he didn't get paid or some shit. That's really like you just don't. But every these are just growing pains for AEW.
Hmm.
It was discouraging for me because if anyone's been listening to this show long enough, and we're episode 12, so congrats to us.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah. That
CM
dirty
Punk guy.
dozen.
I ain't never speaking bad on CM Punk. Who does not? I enjoy him. I enjoy all the antics that he comes. I just it's great. It's great. And I don't people like kind of shitting on the matches. I'm like, I think his matches have been fine, all the ones I've seen. He might I've seen a little slip or something here or there, but like anybody's liable to do that. In terms of the match and the psychology and the entertainment value, I've enjoyed the majority of everything I've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
and maybe a hot take, but we've both been watching wrestling long enough. He's gonna come back to WWE. He's coming back.
I I
He's he's
I'll
coming
say
back.
this. There
He's
was a
coming
point
back.
in time where I thought it was never gonna happen, but I am not completely on that side anymore. I think it's 50-50.
I'll go 70-30.
It takes
Like
one thing. It takes two things actually. Him and Trips sitting down and having a face to face and clearing the air.
I heard they
And
pieced it up
then
though.
oh, when you talk about that time he popped up on SmackDown.
Yeah, they said that he said before he left he wanted to talk to him. Her like that's what they say. They pieced
Yeah.
it up before he left. He was already with
Yeah.
AEW at the time, but like they hashed some things out. Look,
I know he had a conversation with the Miz
mm-hmm,
and they to try and clear the air with him. So that should be water under the bridge.
bro.
He
If
him
you
and Seth
saw,
Rollins need to have a talk though.
I know
100%.
Seth. What Seth called him? He called him a cancer or something. Seth
Yeah, he
be.
called him a cancer.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not knocking Seth. From the
Hmm.
outside looking in, we might surmise that.
Yeah.
He's the only one that out of us that has worked with him back and just got a feel for who he is backstage. But I'm just saying, I used to be on that bandwagon of like, it's over, it's never happening. Bro, we done seen
Mhm.
Billy Graham go back
Yeah.
and forth with it. We seen what's my man that just passed away? Um, the older dude, he sold out the Garden Mad Times.
Oh,
Bruno San Martino.
Bruno.
He used to talk down on them. This dude came back happy as ever. Oh, they don't do their drugs no more. I love this place. He came back. We seen the Ultimate Warrior come back.
Yes.
And if he was healthy, no lie, if he was healthy, I think he would have had one match when on that since it was on good terms.
Oh yeah. He
I think
just
he would do
died
one match.
suddenly.
He would have did it. Bret
And
Hart came back for a WrestleMania match. If there was anybody you thought would never come back, was Bret the
there
Hitman
was a
Hart.
break.
Out
Yeah,
of all
that
of
is
them,
the one that surprised me.
yeah, the
That is the one that
bruh,
really surprised me.
bruh. CM Punk will be back. He will be back on like a less than edge schedule, but he's gonna be back in a big way. And because you know why, at the end of the day, there's money to be made with him there.
Yeah, 100%. But
Period.
here's the thing: how, because the way he made it seem is that he wanted this run to be a full-time run, like wrestling every week, every other week. Like he wants to go and he wants to be a main part of the show. But my bad, my glasses just. But
He's an
he's
attraction,
definitely
and
he's
he
a
got
train,
the
but he
heels
won't.
roll. Like just
Yeah, but the cachet he had in AEW, he won't have in WWE.
and I think he'll understand that. I think he
Yeah,
expects that.
and
You know,
there's been rumblings that I don't know how true this is, and I hate speculation, but allegedly one of the issues Cody had when he left
mm,
AEW was CM Punk being there.
I've heard this. I've heard this. He
So
says a
I don't
person.
know.
He says a personal thing.
Yeah. And I'm of the mind, I think Cody's one of those people that he's willing to have a sit down and he'll do what's best for business. He's
Oh
not going to
yeah,
put up a stink and say, I don't want this guy here, blah, blah, blah. But
they may not even end up on the same show anyway.
yeah, yeah, they don't even have to cross paths, honestly.
You know what I
But
mean?
we'll
Wow.
see.
Yeah,
Because
good point.
there's no non-compete because he was fired. So there's no 90-day wait out.
Yeah,
They can basically,
there's meat on the bone though. You got to build anticipation.
oh
I think
yeah,
he'll
yeah,
be
yeah,
there. I think he'll
yeah.
come in like the next 2 years. That's what I think.
Okay, yeah.
Before he's 50 years old, I think he'll be
Okay,
there.
because I was gonna say I was gonna put him at like 48, 49.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Fucking Edge just did that. Please,
true, true. And Christian too. Christian,
man. Christian's doing great.
as
Y'all heard
long as
about
it's
what I
still
said about
there.
Christian last episode. That dude's doing
Yeah,
great. Please.
but it's
So
just
CM
his
Punk, please, man. Imagine
yeah,
what I really
this
was
run.
thinking was like it got to be like I feel like he should just debut at the end of a pay-per-view and confront
Mm,
Roman Reigns because I think Roman's out of people to mess with. I think unless he messes
yeah,
with his own family now. So I think
yeah,
there's a great
yeah,
time to like insert him in something, and it's like it's not even on something like we gonna fight next pay per view. Just like yo, I see you, I'm
yeah.
coming for you, but I'll work my way up.
And
You know,
maybe Punk gets his WrestleMania main event finally.
all right.
You know,
I
and a
respect
couple
his
ice cream
desires there,
bars.
but nothing. I respect his desires there, and I think he can come up with a great story with Roman because he's the one that introduced the Shield, kayfabe.
Hmm.
CM Punk introduced the Shield, so like, there's a lot they can do on the mic with that. Paul Heyman is there. There's history there. There's mad stuff you could do there,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
nothing to me is gonna top Mania 29 with the Undertaker, and the fact that Paul Bear just happened to die during that run,
Yeah.
and they played off of it. That was Undertaker's last good, well, really good WrestleMania match. I'll say.
Hmm.
I like the brain match he had at 31, um, but that was the last like good
Yeah.
program that he
Yeah. It
had
was.
was with CM Punk. So
This
like I understand his desires to want something, the cachet of it. Maybe there's money attached to it, or whatever you could say career wise. But for me as a consumer, I could watch that match today and feel like I'm right back in the moment and like, yo,
Yeah.
this skinny, scrawny dude I thought had a chance, which is ridiculous.
Was it what Triple H called him? Skinny fat.
Yo, man. But that's his
Oh
appeal. He's a
man.
scrappy dude, man. He's a scrappy
Yeah.
dude. So I mean, AEW be fun. I
Hmm.
ain't still.
Punk will be
We're gonna
fine.
revisit this when CM Punk returns. That's all.
Yeah. It's
We're gonna visit this.
his run feels like a fever dream now because he's been
Yeah,
out with injuries and suspensions and now he's just going it's
it,
crazy.
it
But
wasn't
you
meant
know
to be.
but here's what the discourse is gonna be amongst the internet now. Bearing in mind college football just started. So collision is gonna take a dip in the ratings. But the fact that just coincidentally Punk's firing and the start of college football happened at the same time, people are going to say, oh, without Punk, look how bad his collision's doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the numbers would have gone down slightly with Punk being gone. But the
Mhm.
drastic drop that you're going to see because of college football is because of college football. Where people are going to play it up as Punk not being there. So, because this past episode, they they opened with like 500,000 viewers because of Tony Khan's live announcement,
Okay.
and then like after that announcement, it like sharply fell. But we have to keep in mind WWE was running Payback and college football was going on
Oh
at the
yeah,
same
man.
time.
And all these companies
So
got to realize, yo, like it's cool to have all these shows as a consumer, but
mhm,
business wise and just being practical, like there's not enough time in the day for everyone to watch everything when
yeah,
it's on. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's not, you can't really, like someone like me, if I were to miss Dynamite, I might check for it another day, as well as I
Hmm.
might not. But that's because, and that's sort of AEW's fault because they still in the practice, or they still learn how to really build stories. I really feel
Hmm.
like I could miss an episode of Dynamite and not miss nothing. You feel me? So
Hmm.
that's why I'm not urgent to have to go back to find it. So you can't bank on people always. That's why you got to make something that's fly so that they could catch it when it's on. You know what I mean? Like I haven't. I'm probably not gonna watch the whole thing Collision last week, and I heard what happened. You know what I mean? But probably
Hmm.
won't. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So
Yeah.
um, but they will be fine though. I'm not sweating AEW. They'll be cool. They'll be cool.
Damn,
Um,
Phil. It's been real, Phil.
indeed, man. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Uh, what we got? Oh, quick little note that Sunny Kiss was not renewed at AEW.
Yes.
I just wanted to
Yes.
make a note of it because, as you know, and as the listeners will continue to learn, I ain't really hit with the independent scene. I am very super franchise based.
Yeah.
WWE is the McDonald's of sports entertainment. I recognize it. I know what it is. It tastes the same no matter what country you go to. And so I think the Sunny Kiss character personality is certainly different from anything I've seen in
Yeah.
wrestling. And I did appreciate, I appreciate Tony Khan's openness to a character like that, or to have
Hmm.
somebody like Nyla Rose on the roster, um, so on and so forth. Because those are just things that we just don't see. And
Yeah.
you know, um, and maybe they just couldn't find nothing for their character. Um, Maybe that's why they didn't renew their contract. But I'm just glad that they had the opportunity. People know who you are,
Yeah.
and you can still do your thing on the indies and whatnot. But I just think it was important that at least for the few years that they were there, that they had that exposure. That's all. And
Yes, definitely. And they're a hell of
yeah,
a wrestler too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if when you get to see one of the matches, they're really good in the ring. Yeah, it sucks that Sonny's gone. Concrete Rose. I know House of Glory just announced them for their next show, so they're already booking shows already on the indie scene. So that's good that they're not waiting around for a job for a booking.
yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. And honestly, I knew like once Dark and Dark Elevation were done for, I knew a lot of wrestlers were gonna be out of a contract.
Got to cut the cut
Um,
the cut the fat.
yeah, because a lot of Sonny was one of those wrestlers. Like a lot of them got their burn on Dark and Dark Elevation, and
Who's
with
the name of the wrestler that act like a smart librarian dude?
oh Peter Avalon.
Yeah, is he going?
No, he's
There's a
still there.
couple
He's still
characters
there.
I'm like, I remember that guy.
He's still there. I think he does some back stuff work for them too. Cause
Okay,
and he's also an actor. So
okay.
because he's in one of the Ric Flair car insurance commercials with him
Oh my
getting
god.
beat up
Okay.
by Flair. Yeah. But yeah, Dark and Dark
Car
Elevation was
shield.
like yeah,
Woo!
Car Shield. That's what. I mean, Rick
This
ain't
is
gonna
not
take
even an
little old
ad. I
check.
be thinking about getting them. I be thinking about messing with them. I'm like, my car's still enough mileage under. I might still be able to get insured, but like life with no note. If that's another insurance close to a note,
Mm-mm.
if that insurance is like $100, I ain't getting it. If they talking about $50 a month, I do it. We'll
Yeah,
see. I'm gonna look into it. Not nothing to do with what we talk about, but okay,
yeah,
that dude is still around.
yeah.
But yo, shout out Sunny Kiss, man. Just want to make note of that. Uh, it's just a lot of these characters I think about how much I haven't seen. While we on this really quick, I guess we'll talk about it a little later, but just on the issue of characters, like I've I'm big on Orange Cassidy. I
Yes.
love everything about the character. It's funny to me. His pyro is the funniest thing in the world. Salud.
They
Like the one spark and then the two little sparks is
go poof.
hilarious. Like that is one of the most genius. That's so good. Um, and he had a loss we'll talk about a little later, but just shout out to some of those characters I wasn't familiar with, prior to that I got hip to because of
Yeah,
AEW. So I'm not always shitting on AEW, y'all, but
yeah.
and they
OC
have
was
some good
definitely one
things
of those.
happening. And that's one of the cool things. Lastly, in the hot tag segment, though, we got history that was made this week with the most recent win of Gunther, my
Gunther the
guy,
GOAT.
the longest reigning now Intercontinental Champion in the history of the WWE,
Mhm.
WWF, the whole shebang.
I think his singular reign. I think if he I forgot the number was, but he has a couple of more weeks where he'll beat Pedro Morales' combined reigns. His two separate reigns were like something crazy, like 651, something like that. But yeah, man, Gunther, get the honky tonk man up out of here finally.
Yeah, straight up. It's about time.
Was it it was him versus Gable 3, right? On Monday, this past Monday? Or was that
Two.
last Monday?
It ain't
Two?
two. Yeah, I thought it was the second match they had. The first match, Gable won by countout.
Oh, I thought that okay, so that was just okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they did the rematch.
Mark Henry said that match made him cry.
That's
I need to go back and watch that actually. I have to go back and watch that, and I still have to go back and watch Trish and Becky in the cage.
oh you ain't oh, oh. Well, that's next on this. That's my slam of the week. What a
Yeah,
segue. Uh, but yeah, shout out to Gunther. Shout out to Honky Tonk Man. You did run well, man. You did your thing. But now that Gunther mark ain't gonna be hit in a minute because it takes a
no,
lot to keep people interested in this
yeah,
era for that long. It's different in Honky Tonk's era where there wasn't as much television
hmm
every week. Not, you could see Gunther arguably maybe 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the week. So shout out to him. Our slam of the week, this segment where we talk about our favorite match of the week. Bruh, that cage match. It's the first match on the card, so you even got to fast forward when you start the show.
okay, bet.
It is literally one of my favorite cage matches I've seen in a long time. Like it's just the whole psychology of it. I ain't gonna give nothing away, but just know like these chicks was laying it in,
Yeah,
and everything they were doing was making sense, and they were taking some chances, and they just kept the pace at a certain way, and it all made sense. Like the this is like the fever point of the their rivalry, and the match felt like it. There was a nice sense of urgency, and I don't want Trish to leave yet. So there you go. It was great. She should stick
nah,
around,
she
do some
still
more.
got it. She definitely
Good.
still got it.
It is good. People like she should get off
Nah, I
the
gotta
mic. I
watch that
never
back.
thought Trish was bad on the mic. Like let her rock and be who she is, man.
Yeah, like
It,
she wasn't like the greatest on the mic, but she was serviceable. Like
fine. I, I
she,
I never had an issue on the mic. She does
yeah,
not the type. You can't have her go out there and do a monologue,
yeah,
but she
yeah.
can play off of somebody easy. Like you know what I mean. So just gotta know what people's strengths are. But that's my slam of the week. Trish ended up
Nice.
with like a whole what we call in my family a chichung on her head, a whole bump on her head. The
Oh yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, a whole knot. It was amazing. Those ladies
Nah,
like
I gotta
they
watch
set
it.
the
I definitely
table
gotta
for that
watch it
show,
back.
boy. And that whole payback show,
It
mad
was
fun.
good. Yeah, it was really fun. It was
I had
really
so much
fun.
fun watching that show.
That the tag match, the tag title match,
Oh my god,
was it the Pittsburgh Street Fight?
that that's a
Man,
that's a
Steel
that's a
City
that's a
Street
slam of the
Fight.
week candidate. That
I
joint
was
was
really,
crazy.
yeah, I was yo, and it's funny like that was a long match, honestly.
Yes,
Because at one
yes.
point I was like, yo, they still going. Damn,
But they
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 still
they
going.
inserted everything and everyone and every
Mhm.
turn, and it was
Yes,
like, give me a break.
and I think it was the right finish.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it was the
Yeah,
right
let's
finish.
let's get it on a real tag team.
Yeah.
A real and they could use that belt in story as a tool to
Now
further their story.
they all strapped up now.
Yeah, man. That's a
Let me
that was
see.
a fun match, yo.
Yeah, it really
That was a
was.
fun match.
I was thinking about making that my slam of the week, but I had I watched back All Out yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Yo, this is a really good paper." It was like really good. I didn't know how good it was gonna be because how quickly put together the card was,
Right.
but it was really good. And I think my favorite my slam of the week is gonna be give whew, I'm gonna go with Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a strap
Mm.
match. I was gonna go
I
Hobbs.
heard
I was
that was
thinking
good.
Hobbs Miro because Hobbs and Miro had a really good match, and that audience just kept was chanting meat slapping. And Lana came out at the end, and when she came out, they were
Yeah.
chanting beat that meat. Like, and Lana looks amazing, by the way. But
Well, I'm sorry. You
anyway,
said that they had a chant that said "beat that meat."
yes.
Oh my god.
The fans
Well,
were wiling with the meat chants during that
oh my
match. They
god.
were wiling with the
Oh
meat
my god.
chants.
Here we
But
go. Here we
but I'm
go.
gonna go. I'm gonna go Danielson versus Ricky Starks because it was. I love a good strap match. It's one of those old school matches that I love to see come around every now and
Mhm.
then.
Mhm.
Um, but Danielson and they beat the shit out of each other, man. Like they put and it made Ricky lost, but he lost due to passing out. So
Oh, he
he was
didn't
in the
quit.
lapel lock. No, he didn't quit. He was in the lapel lock, and Danielson had the strap around Ricky's throat. And Ricky was like, "You're gonna have to kill me." Da da da. Da. And he just passed out, and that's how Danielson won the match. So it was they weren't going for the double turn like with Austin
Right.
and Brett, but they were definitely going for that respect in passing out instead of tapping out. And it was just it made Ricky a star. And then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was on commentary. He got involved a little. He threw a couple of punches here and then. He didn't go too crazy. But yeah, it was. I'm gonna say it was that. That's gonna be my slam of the week. And like they had a lot of good matches on that pay per view, but that match just the feeling had a very very old school mid south two guys just beating the snot out of each other type in a modern sense type of feeling. So that's my slam of the week right there.
That's a good choice, yo. I'm a big Ricky Starks fan. I'm not to go check that out. That's
Yes,
he is a he is a sports entertainer for real.
yes, and it's him and now Swerve too with I don't know if you caught a clip of Swerve cutting a promo on Hangman Adam Page this past Wednesday, but he effectively said he's basically saying like you washed, like you're not the man you used to be. And he's like, yo, if I had every opportunity that you got in the past year, I would be the first black world champion here in AEW. I'm like, oh, my man came out, said it with his chest on TV. Yes,
Hey man,
they lacking black world champions. Like, let's be for real. Let's be honest.
I'm not the Hangman Page guy. I think that's documented too. He's cool.
Yeah.
I don't see what is the character.
Hmm.
That's all I care about. Yes, he can wrestle. Right. What's the character? Why do I care? He's not drinking no more. So it's like, damn, that was the one thing I was kind of getting
Oh
with.
no, no, no. He is. He had a beer.
Oh, he's back to
I
drinking.
think.
Okay, now
Yeah.
well, it might be on to something now. He got a beer again. We'll see what he's dealing with. I heard about this promo, and
Hmm.
some people have an issue with Swerve as well because they feel like he is inauthentic in terms of his character. So maybe this may be a tweak to his character too, because and I
Yeah.
heard that he raps and stuff. People are like, yo, you're not a hard rapper. You're from like, a place where there's not really, they don't think it jives well, like those two
Yeah.
worlds with him. And
But
so,
he.
go ahead.
No, no. I'm saying he is a rapper, as in like he takes his rapping seriously.
Right.
But as far as the songs I've heard, I don't really think he plays into the gangster rapper image in his music.
Okay. Okay.
I think he leans a little more gangster in his character, but I think he's leaning
In his
more to like
presentation.
I don't even think it's so much gangster as much as he's trying to be this like cerebral, like his version of like almost like you know how they had those quiet but powerful like hood dudes in movies, like they be, you know what I'm saying, like not
That's
like
like
Victor Sweet.
that dude in like Buddha in the Shy.
Yeah,
If you watch the Shy, like he looks very,
yeah,
very, he look clean cut, almost soft spoken until he's not.
yeah. But the thing is, Swerve is from Seattle, Washington, so people not gonna buy that region as
Uh, you know. But
even
kayfabe,
though there's hoods all over America.
sure, sure. But kayfabe at least, guess he said what needed to be said. So him and
Yeah,
Hangman should have some cool matches.
yeah.
Great
I like
opportunity
that
for
he's getting more
Swerve.
prominent
Even
main
with the
event.
loss, ain't Swerve just lose the coffin match and he still like, ain't that funny how that worked?
Yeah,
You just lost, you get to step to somebody else. Like, nigga, you
yeah.
just lost. Hey man, you suck, and I'm gonna show you why. Like you just lost, man. I'm not on a losing streak. You are.
That's the funny thing. Like that could have been Hangman's comeback. Like, bro, you talking all the shit. I just won my last match. You just lost yours, but you talking shit about me?
It's simple as hell.
Yeah,
But what are you gonna do? What are you
yeah.
gonna do? Shout out Swerve though. It's all good.
Word.
It's all good. Um, let me see what else we have here. I think. Oh, well, a lot was made of the main event of Payback with Nakamura and Seth Rollins. I thought they had a. Did you get to catch the match? I thought they had a really
Yeah,
great
I
match.
did. Yeah,
I heard
it
someone
was
say they
really
could have
good.
been on Raw. I was like, nah, that was a good match. I don't know what y'all talking about. That was like, that was pay per view worthy.
I think
Um,
I think it's one of those things where you see the names and you're expecting this super instant classic, but I think they're gonna eventually run it back. Those two.
it's the story.
Yeah, I think
Story
there's
is
a
the
reason
back.
they held back. Like
Yes,
they're eventually going to run it back, and then they'll take it up a notch in their next meeting. But and I know a lot of people wanted Nakamura to win. They were
I
upset
did.
with the result.
I did.
But
I just thought it'd be interesting because he hasn't had
yeah,
that chance yet. And
yeah,
this tweak with his character, I like these vignettes where he's just speaking in Japanese. The
yeah,
more they keep him from out in front of the crowd with those, the better, so that you can really internalize
mhm,
what's happening. Because the stupid ass people in these different states screaming what every second, we none of us speak Japanese. We get it. Let the man just work the joint how he's supposed to work it. Like, pause,
exactly.
give me a break. It doesn't make sense to me. So I like
Shit
Seth as a
is
champion. I'm not mad at the outcome, but I just wouldn't have minded uh Nakamura winning. That's all. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. I can
Um,
see that.
and I do
Not
think
just
I don't know how many rematches they'll have, but feel like he's gonna get a win out of it.
yeah, yeah.
I do think so. Um, you know,
I think the only match I missed on that pay-per-view was the cage match. I missed the cage match, and I'm trying to remember. I saw the tag match. I saw Rhea's match. I saw the main event. I saw the segment when Jay came back.
yeah.
Um, and then I think that's it, right?
You like his new song, yo?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
Is he rapping himself?
yeah. The name in the song he said it's just me. It's just me. Oops.
Oh man. But you know what I did like too?
What was that?
The next night on Raw, how
Nobody was
people
fucking
were
with him.
like, yeah, shoulder
Yeah.
checking him, like, yo, we ain't forget, nigga, you was beating the shit out
Hey,
of us with chairs with using the bloodline, bro.
you fuck with these people for 3 years, and now we just supposed to
Yes.
be happy to 3 years, B.
Why? Because Sammy said so? Nah, we ain't gonna forget, bro. What you talking about?
Every time someone come out for Sammy saying, "Hey man, hey, he's good, he's good." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, but I
I
like
don't know.
how it's a because you shouldn't. That used to be my pet peeve about wrestling back in the day. They wanted you to conveniently forget about shit because someone's a different alliance now. It's like, yo, bro,
That's
no.
a Vince McMahon thing. They
And they
don't just
used to,
forget about. I'm like, bro, let the shit roll over, man. This is a on. I think I didn't get to watch this video, but someone had a video up. What culture? One of them folks where they were talking about how like Triple H's philosophy on storytelling is like the story never ends, which is
hmm
really what it's supposed to be.
yeah,
And essentially that is what like the rest of the stories only end like when they literally die. That's the
yeah,
end of the story.
basically, or they retire.
Until then, you're always doing something. You
Yeah,
know, Dusty Rhodes will come back, give you a bionic elbow. That's still part of the story. He there to
hmm
see his sons with the tag team belts. That's still part of Dusty Rhodes' story. As far as I'm concerned, it's still it never ends.
nah,
Never
that
ends.
makes sense. That makes
Ric Flair
sense.
had a last match last year, I think. Part of the story. As part of his story. As you know, I mean, all the stuff that goes on with Punk, part of the story. The
Yeah,
good and the bad. You know. Um, so it is good that Jay caught a little smoke, and I think it has to be a gradual thing where he has to. I wouldn't want to say prove himself, but like I don't think he's gonna make the conscious decision like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna show you. But I do think over time people will soften on what happened. They'll see that he's like legit and not like his brother. You know,
yeah, and I think that they're supposed to announce tonight who he got traded for because they're saying it was a swap, a wrestler swap. It wasn't just Raw getting Jay. They're saying someone's coming to SmackDown, so people assuming it's Cody. Um,
I've heard Cody and I've heard what's my man Kevin Owens. I've heard those two names.
Kevin, I don't know if they gonna really break up the tag team. I know they just lost the titles, but
I think
is
Cody
there?
is a clear
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
yeah. Have them because what are we in now? September. It's
Mm-hmm.
time to start planting the seeds for WrestleMania. If you are indeed gonna do the Cody winning, finally winning the belt thing there, but yeah, man, we'll see. SmackDown tonight.
The way that they reveal it, I don't want them to do like welcome the new member. I think that music just got to hit when Roman is in the ring. I don't know what Roman got to be in the
hmm
ring for tonight if he's there tonight, but I
Yeah,
think that's the only way to do it. And it doesn't mean that they got to fight immediately, but it has to be a situation where he putting them on notice. Like, yo,
yeah.
you thought I was out here, but I pulled off a coup. You know what I mean? They got me and they got your brother over there. Yada yada yada. Maybe he'll do a program with Jimmy or some shit like that.
And then if they don't do it, they could just if they do it that way, the show should just open up with this music hitting. Other than that,
That could work too.
yeah.
That could
Sorry,
work
that
too.
background. That background was like fucking up my video
Yeah,
feed. Like
man.
my
Yo,
face was
man.
blinking in and out.
You just reminded me
Um,
I gotta need to work out my damn self.
yeah. Nah, man, it's rough.
You know
But
what I mean?
we'll see. We'll see who, or we'll see what Cody. I'm gonna assume it's Cody, and just say we'll see what Cody's gonna be up to while on SmackDown. Because I don't think you jump right into the Roman feud.
No, you can't. You can't.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know
you
what
give
their
a,
plans are, but I don't think that should be the plan.
yeah, you
That's
give a
what I
little
think.
heater feud in the meantime, and then boom, around what December, you can start planting those seeds.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right.
hmm
That sounds about right. Who knows? They'll keep things interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. Anything else we should touch on? I don't have anything else I think that's so notable in my mind.
No, the only thing is, I think like the logistics of wrestling. I know AEW is going back to Saturday pay-per-views now. They do because because the Khans own the Jacksonville Jaguars, they don't like to run pay-per-views on Sunday during the football season.
Yeah, that is conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is good for me. I prefer Saturday pay-per-views, especially during the winter when it's cold and you ain't really trying to leave the
You
crib
guys,
or do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That definitely
I'm all for
works.
that. And interesting, the Is it so that means the next pay-per-view, which I believe is Full Gear, is gonna be on Saturday. So what they're doing that week is they're gonna air Collision on Friday, which will be going head to head with SmackDown at the 8 o'clock spot.
So is Collision gonna be a live show?
Yeah, Collision will be live. But
What's the
I'm
name? What's the name of the Friday show right now? It's with an R, right?
Rampage, but that comes on at 10
Rampage.
o'clock. Yeah, that comes on
Hmm.
at 10 o'clock. So they're gonna do Collision from 8 to 10, and then Rampage at 10 o'clock at its
They're
normal
still gonna do
spot.
a Rampage. Cheese on bread.
Yeah, they got
Wow,
the TV contract. They had to.
Rush.
They had to. But it'll be interesting to see how both respective shows are booked for that night because it's a go home show for
If they
AEW. So I don't
smart,
think it'll be.
set some good
It'll,
main event. They should set two big main events. They should have a
yeah,
big Rampage main event and a
yeah,
big Collision main event. Because that way you might grab people from SmackDown for
mhm,
Collision. But if you have a big enough main event for Rampage, you definitely gonna get the overflow in SmackDown done.
yeah,
If you
definitely,
got some real shit happening
yeah.
for that.
And
Hopefully they're playing
I
it the right way.
it's in I think November. So I think there was speculation that SmackDown might be airing on FS1 that night anyway.
It's never a
So
good night for them when that happens.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's but I don't know what would preempt them. I can't. Nothing comes to mind of what would preempt them off of Fox on a Friday night, unless it was.
Maybe baseball.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like baseball playoff related. That'd be the only thing.
Yeah, it might be baseball. That's a
We'll,
trip.
we'll
That's a
see.
trip.
It'll be interesting. I think
It's just it's a blessing that
the
we have these are good problems to have. Again, this is
yes.
really like me being a kid flipping between USA and TNT.
Hmm.
I literally have a VHS tape that I was recording around the time of WrestleMania 12, where it was the episode of Raw when Kevin Nash opened the casket and saw himself in the casket. And I was
Okay.
switching between that and whatever fight was going on Nitro and Brian Pillman and Ric Flair beefing with Macho Man and Randy Savage. Sorry, not man, not Macho Man. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage.
Yeah.
And there's a point in that VHS where I was switching channels and I fucked up and like I chose the wrong channel. I went to like TBS instead of TNT. You see some other shit that just had nothing to do with nothing, and you could have sensed my frantic. Like, no, and I went back to that's what it used to be, man. It's like, oh, like I think what I remember the channels back then, but it was like 30 something and 30 something. They were near each other. If you got one number
Yeah.
off, went to the wrong one, it's like, oh, I can't miss a second. I gotta go back.
Nah, that used to be
And
it,
we are in
man.
those times again. And it's just hilarious, you know?
I love it. I love it. It's like, yo, who's wrestling? Oh, I don't like his match, so I'm gonna flip over and see what's going on over here. All right, boom.
Yes.
Oh, they're on commercial. Let me flip back and see what's going on over here. Doom, doom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it was just a fun time, man. So I'm glad people in this generation coming up, they're getting a little taste of that. It's not as urgent because there's so
Hmm.
many ways to watch content. But back then, when you had to be there and there wasn't no replay, oh my
Yeah,
God, you better
that's
be in
it.
front of your screen.
Hell
Stop
yeah.
playing.
Or have the VCR recording.
Something, yo. For
Like
real.
nothing hits like watching an old VHS of wrestling. Like you can watch like old shows on the network, of course, but it's different when you pop in that VHS because you're getting the live broadcast, so there's no edits or
Yep.
anything like that. And my favorite thing to do when I watch those old tapes is to see the commercials
I know.
because the
I know.
commercials the commercials will trip you out and take you down a memory lane, and you're like, oh shit, I remember this. Da, 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 da.
You know what commercial I remember on that tape is they used to have a commercial for Winter Fresh gum. And it'll be like the average degrees in your body in your mouth is 98.6 degrees. And this guy be like, oh yeah. And then they'll give you some winter fresh or some shit. Like, but with the winter fresh, and then this song starts and they go, much, much. And then this dude is like, and I can remember the song. The dude is like, what he said? Too much. And this guy goes, ooh. But then this should go icy cool flavor, icy cool breath.
Yo, I remember that song. I remember that song now.
And I think that
As
shit
soon
is
as you
in
said
that
that bar,
VHS. And I can
as
remember
soon as you said
watching it
that bar,
when they got the whole your mouth is 98.6 degrees. There's like a whole fist flames behind it. And
hell
I'm like,
yeah,
I can see it right now. It's hilarious. Yeah, that
son,
was a good
that
time for
oh
commercials,
man,
man.
hell yeah, all the JVC Kaboom Box, the
There's so many
all the
good ones,
Slim
man.
Jim commercials.
Bob,
Listen,
we
I
out of
used to
baby, it's a boy. You know.
listen.
Oh my God.
Oh, listen, I was watching an old, I think it was like SmackDown tape, and it was a commercial for oh, what was the commercial? Damn, I forgot what the product was, but it was basically a dude was like selling these like ceramic dolls, and it like had all these different sayings that piss people off, and you bought one and broke it and got to smash it, and it would be stuff like, oh, it was like a woman buying a toy, and it'd be like, oh, that doesn't make you look fat, that doesn't make you look fat, that doesn't make you look fat, and she'll smash it. And it was one where it was a dude and he was it, and it's like, it happens, oh, it happens to all the guys, it happens to lots of guys, it happens to lots of guys, and he's smashing that shit, and I'm like, yo, as a kid watching this, I didn't know the context of what these dolls were saying, but this is a little too adult for me to be watching as a kid.
There's I don't think this commercial is as old as those, but this used to crap me up where like this guy was on a job interview and
Mhm.
and damn. Oh, okay. And so like the guys that he's interviewing with, the dude name is Mr. and it's like Dumass. And so he walks in and
Oh,
this dude
it
is
calls it
like,
Mr.
yo, how you doing, Mr. Dumbass?
Dumbass.
I used to love da Mr. Dumbass. He
And
says
he's
all
like,
this
yo,
dumbass mad times, and this dude
he's like,
goes,
yo, it's
it's
pronounced
Dumas.
Dumas.
Yes,
And the dude's like, oh shit. I'm getting fired. Damn.
bruh.
Yeah,
That
I
is one of
remember
the
that shit.
funniest because it reminds me of like there used to be a character on full on Family Matters. He was a custodian, and his name was
Yeah.
Mister. They called him
Mr.
Mister
Looney.
Looney. And, hey, Mister Looney, how you doing? Da, da, da. And every episode, he'd be like, "It's Looney.
Hey, it's
It's
French.
French."
Son, and you know what else that remind me of? This is random, but it was and I can't find it on the internet, but it was Norman Smiley on an episode of Nitro.
Okay,
And he's being,
he's
being
doing the wiggle,
snobbish because it was doing a promo.
but
And he
like
was
wiggle
like,
version or like serious
yeah,
Norman
wiggle
Smiley.
version, wiggle
Okay,
version. And he was like, I'm sick of all because he's British and so being pompous and shit. And he's like, yo, I'm sick of all you people pronouncing my name wrong. My name is Norman Smiley. It ain't Norman Smiley. And I was like, my son was sounding like a BT character for a second. Shout out to Norman Smiley
yo,
too.
big time. He's one of the best ever. I don't, man. That dude was
Listen,
so entertaining.
if you don't know him before his big Wiggle WCW run, that dude was probably top 5 technical wrestlers on the planet. If you
Which is
look
the
for his
funniest thing
matches in
about his
Japan,
character.
I
He's no
know, right?
slouch, but then he just turned into like this jokey ass character. But like,
The
but
wiggle, man, you gotta do the wiggle.
he has the respect of his peers, which is important. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
definitely.
wiggle shit he used to do, that used to crap me up.
Yo, I used to do that shit all the time. I used to do that shit and used to do the Alex Wright dance all the time.
You know who remind me of that? That dude over in AEW right now, man. I think my man Dan something.
Oh my man, Daniel Garcia with the
Yo, my God, that is Alex Wright, bro.
straight up,
That is
straight
Alex
up,
Wright. That dance is so damn funny.
son. You,
That
you
shit
see,
is so
last week
funny.
he's all up in Renee's face doing it, and he
I
just
didn't
like
see that.
just all up in the face during the backstage promo.
Moxley
Hilarious.
should have showed up just on some. I'm just walking by, like, excuse me.
Oh hell
That would have
yeah,
been fire. Like, what are you doing? They're back to
hell yeah,
business. Shout out Norman Smiley, man. Shout out Daniel Garcia.
yeah, man.
These antics, these are all elements. You know, they said like there's 5 elements to hip hop and shit. Like, these are all
Yeah,
elements to professional wrestling. It's not only
hell
about the
yeah.
work rates, man. Like, I can remember, I can remember when Alex Wright stopped doing the dancing. He became like a darker character. I'm like, bro, Get
Yeah.
back to the dancing, B. But that's all
Yeah,
part
you
of the
bugging.
phases of a character. You got to go when Daniel Garcia decides, "All right, I'm gonna get serious now." He's gonna
Hmm.
stop dancing, and he's gonna be like a bad guy, maybe. But when it's time for him to go back to face, you're gonna know he's a face again because he's gonna do the dance. That's why it's
Exactly.
cool to have these
Exactly.
elements there. That's the best part of this shit. It's the best part of this shit. You
Gotta
know,
have a hook, man. Like something that characterizes you in some way. But you
he'll get
gotta
there.
have, yeah, no, I'm saying he has that with the dance now, but like in general, that's what as a wrestler you should have, because you gotta have something that people remember about you.
Oh, thousand percent, a thousand
Because if they
percent.
don't remember anything about you, they ain't gonna miss you. Like you be gone for a couple weeks, and be like, I didn't even notice.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. You know. Ah, on that note, we hope we gave y'all some laughs. Trip down memory lane with them commercials.
Yes, yes.
But this has
That
been
is
another episode of the best of both worlds of wrestling
yes,
podcast for
sir.
sure.
And to quote Tony Storm, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
That's very funny. She got to keep that going.
Yes, she does.
She got to keep that
She's
going.
knocking it out the park now. But that is all we have for you this week.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. Later on.